Hello, I'm back after a semester-long hibernation as usual, and today we're going to be talking about the dreaded subject of dictation. Wait, no, don't turn off just yet. The whole point is, how can we make dictation useful and engaging? So I spoke to Oksana Kharley about some of the best ways that we can actually use dictation, so essentially listening and writing. One problem that I've found with dictation lessons is students are often not given any real life reason to be writing. It's simply the teacher says, you're going to listen to this CD or I'm going to read something and you're going to write down word for word what I say. Even though in real life there are many reasons where we would listen to something and write down what we're hearing, but it's very rarely presented in that kind of way. So, what we're going to think about in today's short episode is how can we make it interesting and how can we make it contextual. Now, this interview took place after Oksana had given a demonstration of some of these techniques. So I'm going to drop in at certain points to kind of explain what we're talking about. So enjoy, and you can get a pad and pad. Come on. You can get a pad and pen and you can start writing down.
My full name is Oksana Kharley, and I come from Ukraine, but I've been living and working in Macau.
Okay.
And I work in Macau University of Science and Technology.
All right, and you're teaching English then?
Yes, English. This semester I teach English, advanced English. That's what how they call the course.
All right, and today we were thinking about dictation, right? So dictation is something that's often misused.
And underestimated. Yeah, and every single time you tell your students you're going to have a dictation, they feel shocked,
right.
And they start revising the materials straight away without knowing that dictations could be really a big fun for them.
The only time I've used dictation is, it was a textbook called Dictation, and it just had a CD, and the teacher just played the CD and the students filled in the blanks. So
when I was searching the internet, that's the way the dictations are typically presented. So, and I was really surprised because they said, this is the audio, listen twice and write down and then compare to the script, that's it. No, that's a typical perception what the dictation should be.
Okay.
Yeah, but since we're in the 21st century and we're trying to be creative, so that's one of the ways.
All right. So what kind of ways could we spice up our dictation in classes?
Well, first of all, it depends what kind of materials the choice of the materials, right? Yeah. So either you want to have your dictation based on the material you've just taught, or maybe you taught last week and it was a kind of revision, but in an interesting way. So it's possible. So the material goes first, right? Second, who dictates?
Okay.
So we teachers normally dictate. Students normally write, but it could be the other way around, right? So it could be peer dictation. One of the students dictates, the others write. So it also, who is the doer of the action of dictation, right?
Okay.
And then who checks and corrects. And that's what we've talked today. It could be peer correction, right? I even did not touch your papers today, if you noticed that, right?
Yeah,
so my preparation was done before I entered the classroom, and I spent long hours actually preparing for the workshop. So I choosing the materials and pre-planning everything. But as soon as I entered the classroom, I gave the handouts, I set up the instructions, and that's it. And I'm done. And students did everything.
Right. Yeah, that's something I did think about. It does seem quite kind of labor intensive to create those materials, though.
Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, and it should be a student centered. So I keep my students, I keep you, my so to speak, students, right, in mind. What
I was a
might
temporary student today.
Temporary students, yes, exactly. So what might interest you? So because I have to take the level into consideration, right?
Right. Does that affect dictation then? Because often groups are very mixed level.
Yes, and this is one of the drawbacks of the dictations. And again, going back to the classroom, that's what we've discussed. So mixed level, and some students are stronger, some students are weaker, and how to find this balance so it's not, that everybody's going to be involved in the activity.
Right.
Yes. So again, it's teacher's task to do that, and that's why when we were discussing in the classroom, I wanted what kind of ideas do you guys have? So because we are sometimes even more experienced than I am, right? So how could we make the activity suitable for our lessons?
Right. So in your actual classroom experience, have you had any problems with this or any complete disasters?
Oh, of course, some of them were. When I was, these are just 5 dictations that I tried to introduce and share with my colleagues, right? But yeah, there are many more, and some of them were very, were, as you said, were a disaster because I did not plan my instructions carefully. Right, so students completely misunderstood the task. And second, I didn't group the students. You can't do that with the high-level learners because you can't say you sit with this girl or you sit with that boy. No, it does not work. But you do have, once you're in a class and you know your students' abilities very well, right, and level very well, so you know how to mix them and group them so that weaker students work with the stronger ones. So you can find a kind of balance.
Right.
Yeah.
And in fact, today we did one dictation exercise that was a very interesting twist on the 2 truths, 1 lie technique.
Yeah.
Can you describe that for us, please?
So the activity is very interesting. If you work with your student, we've been working for a student, for instance, for a semester, and they get to know you, want to be more open with them, want them to know you more. So we prepare sets of sentences. Could be 4 sentences, 3 lies. No, wrong. 3 truths, 1 lie.
Right.
And you dictate them to your students, and they have to jot down the one which they think is false.
And that was the interesting twist, I thought, that they're not writing down everything necessarily.
Again,
maybe
if they are weaker students, they write down every single sentence, and then they sit in groups or work in pairs, and then they discuss which one might be a lie. But then, if they are stronger, it does not make sense to force students or have students write every single sentence, right? And again, it's time consuming.
Yes.
So, but then it could be funny because if students discuss and they ponder these different ideas, different scenarios. Is that possible that our teacher wanted to be a nun when she was a kid? Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But then you have to be very careful about the statements you choose, and so it should not be too personal.
Right. And so actually one of the techniques we looked at today, it was kind of interesting because it didn't involve writing. It was the disaster example.
Okay, this example included the teacher dictating a picture to the students and the students drawing what they heard. So, for example, the instruction would be draw 2 houses on the right. Each house has 4 windows and a door. On the roof of one of the houses, there are 2 people and a dog. Draw 2 trees on the left, etc., etc. So the students weren't writing, they were actually drawing what they heard.
So can dictation be not about writing and spelling?
Dictation can be not about writing and spelling, but this kind of what do students do? Students mostly listen. So it also implicitly trains their listening skill and reinforces their listening skill, right? Especially it's good for the students if they or for teachers who are non-native speakers or even native speakers, because we have different accents, right? So they can get used to.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
And practice, yeah.
So,
and again, the title of the workshop was Dictations Are Fun. So that was done for fun. And again, it depends on what stage of the lesson you want to use it. Sometimes you want to change a little bit, to change the lesson routine and have them to entertain them a little bit. Right? It's not just about memorizing, writing down. That's a different approach to dictation. So, okay, guys, let's have a warm up. Let's have a short dictation. Ooh, and then you have them draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know when I was drawing for the last time in my life. Probably 5 years ago.
Yeah. But I thought it was very interesting that these techniques could be used at kind of almost any stage. They could be adapted into any stage of a class.
That's true. So, and it could also implicitly practice the active vocabulary. You want your students to revise or recall, right?
Right.
So again, but the teacher has to sit down and plan. And probably draw himself or herself. Yeah.
So I guess it is very useful and it can be really fun, but it's going to take preparation
on teacher's side.
Yeah,
indeed. I'm 100% with you. Yeah, that's why we have to use dictations. No, we have to. We should use dictations in moderation.
Don't get too crazy on
it.
Just save it for a special treat.
For
every
a special,
now and again. So really, dictation isn't this long, boring, or doesn't have to be the long.
Doesn't have
boring.
to be. Let's put it in this way. It doesn't have to be boring, long, stressful.
Right, stressful.
Yeah, for both teachers. For teachers, when they start correcting, you think, "Oh my goodness, what am I doing in the classroom? Is it really my career?"
Yes.
No. All for the students. Yeah. No.
Okay, then. So Oksana, thank you very much. Very
Thank
useful.
you. I hope I was useful.
Okay, so that's it for dictation. So take it away. Don't be so afraid to use it. We can use it in very interesting ways. I'm planning some big changes for Masters of TESOL. We're going to start going multimedia and providing more materials. So if that's something you're interested in, then stay tuned and stay subscribed, I suppose. So cheers. See you next time.